very much, Mr. Speaker. I am pleased to rise on Bill 345, an act to amend the Canada Labour Code for pregnant and nursing employees. As indicated in my colleague's speech from Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan, our party supports this piece of legislation being referred forward to review and witnesses for committee. I believe that is an important amendment and should be given the appropriate amount of time at committee stage for that review. Although the Canada Labour Code affects only 10% of the population, some of the jobs falling into this category would be concerning to pregnant and nursing mothers. Jobs including uranium mining, air transportation and airlines, and interprovincial pipelines. Each of these jobs could threaten both the health of the mother and her child. As we move forward in Canada with the economic growth of women, we must take part in important things into consideration. Currently, women make up the small majority of university graduates. Women are graduating from science and technology, engineering and math, but not remaining in the field at the same rate. I believe, as a member of the Status of Women Committee, women make the choice to have children that take them out of their work temporarily and sometimes full-time. We must provide family-friendly options that work for both families but Canada's economy. Policies that would work and support women during their pregnancy and while nursing need to be discussed and studied as we continue to support women nationally. We have heard and reviewed the policies currently in place in Quebec. These policies create a gap between the Quebec employees and their co-workers in the same field, and sometimes when they're working side by side. By providing an opportunity for the federal minister to work with her provincial counterparts and review labour code issues with a gender-based lens will provide a positive and equal playing field. But we need to hear from the experts on this issue who will study the economic benefits and negative impacts to our economy and to families. We must consider what jobs females are currently doing in Canada. According to Statistics Canada in 2016, through the employment under industry and sex, 19.5% of the sector was females in the forestry, fishing, mining, quarry, and oil and gas. According to a similar study completed by the Mining Industry Human Resources Council, participation in the mining industry in 2011 in a variety of capacities, including heavy-duty equipment, welding and truck driving, were all below 15%. So we actually see a growth between 2011 and 2016. It is important that we continue to support the growth of female participation by reviewing the current federal policies in time. Many women plan their careers and employment around childbirth. Families are important to the growth of Canada, and the opportunity to support families is a practical approach to this issue. Providing flexible parental leave and employment insurance benefits for parents with ill children are positive measures that the Conservative Party supports and introduced in previous legislation and during their 2015 platform. We must always consider the risk of a job to the health of her mother and her child. According to Workplace NL, and I quote, Laurentian University, in consultation with Workplace Safety North, has developed a document, Guide to Healthy Pregnancies in the Mining Workplace. This is a valuable resource that provides information on workplace hazards in the mining industry, including physical agents, noise, vibration, heat, radiation, chemical agents, including gases, dust, mist, vapors, metals, and other factors, ergonomic, scheduling, and workplace stress, end of quote. I believe that this is an opportunity to review the occupational health for pregnant and nursing mothers, and organizations like this could in this study. So taking us back to the actual bill and the financial parts and the amendments suggested by the sponsoring member, what will the economic impacts be to Canadians? What is the loss of income to the family when a pregnant or nursing mother must take time off without pay due to their pregnancy? What would this bill do, and what are the results, and what will happen if it went forward? This bill only allows for the Minister of Labour to enter into agreements with the provinces. It does not create these agreements. As a member of the Conservative Party, we support maternal and child health in Canada and abroad. A government MP has indicated previously that legislation like this would further complicate an already complicated area, and I think we've heard from this member just moments ago. But realistically, the key priority of this legislation is the safety of pregnant women and their unborn or nursing children, and the financial impact if they're not able to accommodate place of work. This government, in their 2017 budget, extended the benefits to women unable to work due to their pregnancies to 12 weeks. Although, on a side note, I still prefer the 15 weeks that was presented in the private member's bill by the member from Kingston and the Islands. By moving the date prior to the birth of the child from 8 to 12 weeks is a positive thing to do, but sometimes the threat of pregnancy is greater than just 12 weeks. Sometimes expecting mothers can have a pregnancy including hypertension or multiple births. Many employers will do their best to accommodate their employees, but unfortunately, this is not always the case, so we need to consider alternatives. Having appropriate studies that will support economic security for women in Canada must be considered, and moving this piece of legislation to committee should be supported. Many issues need to be considered, including current agreements with employees, inequity, and estimated costs. We must find an appropriate balance that supports families while supporting our businesses, who are feeling the impact already from this Liberal government, including the most recent proposed tax changes and their 2015 campaign plan, where they're also going to allow the small business tax credit to be reduced to 9%. We have to always take these things into consideration because it's not just about the employees, but it's also about the employers. And unfortunately, we have seen small businesses being targeted by this government since the 2015 election. And our economy, although we see jobs that have been created, we do see a huge threat as we move forward with these proposed tax changes. So I think we have to always consider what else can the government throw them, whether it's federally or provincially. What is this government going to do to make life for small business even harder? So as we're considering these amendments, we must see who will be impacted and who will this legislation make it better for. This has to be the question. Does this piece of legislation make life better for Canadian families, mothers, and their children? How can we properly support the economic security of women in Canada while supporting the growth of Canadian families? I thank the member for bringing this forward so we can review these potential changes. Bill C-345 provides a vehicle for parliamentarians to study these changes and to speak to experts in the different fields. We need to support families and support healthy pregnancies and children, but we also need to create a healthy economy. Thank you.